Hi there. This week on Beyond the Panel, we're taking a look at Star Wars number 61, an Age of Republic Anakin Skywalker. He stumbles upon slaves, he hits rage mode, and there's also now this narrative that Vader isn't a villain, he's an anti-hero. We're going to explore all of that right now on Beyond the Panel. It is February 7th, 2019. Thank you so much for joining me for this 5th issue of Beyond the Panel. It has been such a blast the last 4 weeks, and now 5 weeks, to be doing a show that's just Star Wars comic talk. I think we're in for a really fun time over the next 25, 30 minutes. Might be a little bit less than that, but the point is, every week we get together and we talk about Star Wars comics, and there's so much going on right now. I am just obsessed with this Age of Republic run that we're on right now with Jody Houser and friends. They're doing an exceptional job with the storytelling, both writing and visuals, and I'm absorbed into this world every week when a comic drops in this lineup. So it's going to be kind of a tough transition. I know Ethan Sachs is going to probably do a great job as well with Age of Rebellion, but I just really love this Jody Houser period, and I know we're going to get more with her, right? She's doing the Star Wars TIE Fighter miniseries, the 5-issue miniseries that is going to cross over with the Alphabet Squadron novel that we're getting in April, and so like I'm going to get more of her work, but I've loved all this. I also want to get that Qui-Gon comic book really bad, but I digress. It is the 7th of February. So glad we're in this moment together. We're going to talk about a couple of comic books. We're going to talk about, it's not really like a concern that I have, but it is a narrative that we're hearing more and more about in recently. There are a lot of people online, and I don't like to give fodder to what's going on online, but there is concern that Anakin and Vader are becoming they're not villains. Like Vader in 4, 5, and 6, are there efforts underway to make him not a villain but an anti-hero? So like maybe more appropriate for like kids to consume. And I didn't really give that argument much credit. But now I'm seeing it in the comic books that we read. So we'll take a look at that. We'll also preview comics that were coming out next week. And then I'll go. I gotta go. I would have started this like a couple minutes ago. I mean, we're watching this in the same moment, so it's all good, but I just had to kill a spider for my girlfriend. I was in the shower. It was terrible. I'm like, babe, killed a spider. Now I'm talking Star Wars comics. So let's go ahead and get into it. And the first comic this week is Age of Republic, Anakin Skywalker. I thought about leading with Star Wars 61, but honestly, this is the comic book that everyone is talking about. Keep in mind that Django book from a few weeks back, it's actually like a really hot book right now. So I think not just Star Wars fans, but comic book fans are becoming more and more aware of this Age of Republic run. So what do we get? We start right here in this space battle. It's awesome. I love seeing, oh, God, the Clone War classic ships. Oh, God, I love those ships. And also the original Y-Wings there, like the predecessors, just awesome. So what's happening is there's this space battle. Republic's going to get its butt kicked. You have Valorum and, Yularen, I should say, and Anakin having this conversation. Oh, God damn it, we're just going to start all this over. Okay, 3, 2, 1. It is February 7th, 2019, and I am so glad that we are able to be in this moment right now talking Star Wars comic books. Already in my day, I have set up some stuff for the set for our live show that's going to be on this Sunday, 11 a.m. Central. So excited for these extra new features that we'll be able to experiment with. I've killed a spider for my girlfriend, and I've had to chase my cat away from getting entangled in the wires upon wires that have built around my set here. But nothing could get in the way of this show happening because I am one in the Force, and the Force is with me. Or I'm one in the Force. Okay, 3, 2. 3, 2, 1. It's February 7th, 2019. I am so glad that we are in this moment together right now to talk Star Wars comics. I've spent time getting our set ready for this Sunday for our live show. In case it's the first time that you're visiting Beyond the Blast Doors, welcome. But here on Beyond the Panel, we talk 100% comics. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and hit the bell next to it so that way when we drop new episodes of this show or other videos or we go live, you're the first person to find out. And whether you're new to this channel, new to this show, or you're returning, go ahead and smash that thumbs up button for me. It's been a crazy day. I've gotten some work done on the set for our live show, like I just said. Really excited about the new features that we have. I killed a spider for my girlfriend. I had some buffalo chicken dip, and now I'm seated here for the next 20 minutes to talk Star Wars comics. Really excited. So I kind of mentioned on the lead in there that we're talking about 2 comics Age of Republic, Anakin Skywalker, which is really exciting because it's not just Star Wars fans talking about this series anymore. It is comic book fans in general because the Jango Fett single issue got hot. On several lists, this book is, some people are paying, $15, $20, $30 for this. I mean, it's just absurd that it's that popular. Also because so far I haven't heard of a reprint for Jango Fett #1. So far the only Age of Republic book to get that would be Qui-Gon, the single shot with Qui-Gon Jinn. Of course, all these books written by Jody Houser. So something that I'm keeping an eye on, but it's really cool to see that this is the, they call it a maxi series. It's cool that it's reaching out beyond Star Wars fandom and then just general people are getting into it because it's a really good story, it's really good visuals, and it's a lot of fun. They're also doing that really cool thing with the puzzle covers where they all connect, which is cool. I'm not into them, but I know a lot of people like them, so that's great. I respect what you like. I respect what I like. We all get along in this conversation together. I'm not judging you. You're not judging me. That's what's so great about the conversation, the Star Wars conversation we try and have on this channel, is that we just want to have our strong opinions, but we're going to respect everyone for what they think. So that's just how life should be in general. If you watched the State of the Union the other night, it didn't quite go that way. But this is not a politics show. This is a Star Wars comic book show. So let's go ahead and get into it right now with Age of Republic, Anakin. I love this. We start here with this book in the middle of a space battle, and you get classic Clone Wars ships. You get Anakin leading the way in his Attack of the Clones era starfighter. So I love that. It's not the blue and white one that I love so much. It's the yellow starfighter. It's actually the Lego set that we're giving away on our giveaway this coming Sunday. But I digress. They're in the space battle. He gets back to the capital ship, and they're having this conversation about how they have to go and free this new droid factory. They have to, destroy it. And the problem with this that Anakin has is the fact that the plan that has been devised by the leadership is that it's going to cost a lot of lives for clones, and it's going to cost a lot of lives of innocent civilians. And so he has like dilemma, and he's talking with Obi-Wan about how the whole purpose of the Jedi being in this war is to save lives. And Yularen is a war mind, and that's what Obi-Wan is trying to explain, is the fact that he's coming from the strategic standpoint, and Anakin says no matter what, slaughter is wrong. So he takes off, and he's going to go do his own thing. And I kind of like the fact that Yularen actually kind of respects Anakin for his emotional weakness, and he doesn't look at it as a weakness, but he is so cut and dry. Anakin allows his emotions to sometimes take over. Comes up with this plan where he and R2 are just going to cruise into this droid facility. And like I said, they think this is a brand new facility. It's cranking out tons of droids. Anakin gets there, and he's like, listen, this could go down badly. So he tells R2 to prep the ship. But then the Force takes over, and he senses suffering. He starts running, and then wouldn't you know it, it's a trap set by the Separatists. All these people are enslaved. And then he starts having these trepidation, these not Force flashbacks, but just flashbacks of him being a slave to Watto and his mom. And he comes down there, and he just goes rage mode. You can see the evil in his eyes. He's slaughtering droids, so it's not like he's slaughtering people. Although I would make the argument that sand people aren't really people. Whatever. The point is, look at this panel. It is insane. He goes berserk on all these droids. He's doing flips. He's stabbing them. He's kicking them. It's awesome action. I love how this is depicted so well. The slaves now get blasters from the fallen down guns, and they bust out. Look how jacked this guy's arm is. Those are some LeBron James biceps right there. So anyway, we get back onto the end of the ship. They learn that it's a trap. Yularen and Obi-Wan are like, listen, we would have been victim to this had it not been for you. Way to trust in yourself. And so what I also enjoy and appreciate about this comic is the fact that obviously we're kind of closer to Revenge of the Sith than Attack of the Clones at this point. You can tell by the character design. Of course, here you go, and longer hair. You know that's Revenge of the Sith era Anakin Skywalker. But my point being here is that you're seeing Anakin having issue with the Jedi Order and its role with this galactic war. You're seeing Anakin not be kind of like this whiny, bratty kid that you got in Attack of the Clones, right? He is a more matured Anakin in this moment. He has responsibility, of course, and he feels responsible for not just the lives of these innocent people at this facility, but he also feels responsible for the clones. And so, one thing that I really did appreciate about the conversation between Obi-Wan and Anakin is the fact that they mentioned, Yularen doesn't want to waste lives of clones. They are his men. He feels responsible for them. He cares about them. And I really dig that because we've learned, through the Clone Wars, there are Jedi also, not just generals, but Jedi who don't view the clones more than fodder. They're just blaster fodder. And I really like this morality lesson that we got here. It was really satisfying for me. Seeing some conflict between Yularen and Anakin was really thrilling because we know that Yularen makes this all the way through A New Hope. I think he dies in the destruction of the first Death Star, if I remember that correctly. He's the guy with the white hair at that table. They made that canon, so that's kind of cool. Of course, we get some time with Yularen again in Rebels, so that's fun as well. So overall, really great comic. I love the action sequence that we get here. Of course, the tremor in the Force, he senses the suffering, and then he books it, and he finds that the Trade Federation, the Separatists, have enslaved these people. And I like how it's a play on that. I think the lower third I had on this is that, he chooses life. He's pro-life, and he's pro-freedom. He's free, but I think you can also make the argument that Anakin Skywalker is always a slave to his emotions his entire life. He's first a slave to Watto on Tatooine. He's a slave to the Jedi Order, and not in agreement. He becomes corrupted, and he becomes victim to his own emotions, becomes victim and slave to the Emperor. So no matter what, it is tragedy, but it kind of leads me into this narrative that's kind of online right now, and it's that Vader is not a villain, but he's an anti-hero. And I think at face value, if you're just looking at Vader, when you think of Darth Vader, you think of 4, 5, and 6. Star Wars, Empire, Return of the Jedi, and that is a villain. And yeah, you're learning how this once Jedi became Darth Vader, fall from grace, and now he's redeemed. I get it. But 4 and 5, I will not say he's an anti-hero. That is a villain. Vader is fully corrupted. He is still trying to overthrow the Emperor. He wants control of the galaxy. Together we can rule the galaxy as father and son. That he's not saying I'll come back to the good and we'll, fix the New Republic. He's saying that we will rule with the dark side of the Force, with the Empire, to do our bidding. That's not a anti-hero. That is a villain. And I wasn't thinking about this until I read the back insert of the single shot. And on the left bottom corner of your screen, the central figure in Star Wars. It would be apparent watching the original 3 Star Wars films that Anakin Skywalker wasn't just the villain known as Darth Vader, but a tragic hero fallen from grace. However, it wasn't until the prequel films that audiences truly understood the immensity of Anakin's, and it goes on and on and on. But wasn't just the villain, but a tragic hero. I can side with that. He was a hero. Anakin Skywalker was a hero, fought in the Clone Wars, wanted to be a Jedi. But then he has this fall from grace. He wants to save the love of his life. He feels like the dark side can give him the skills and the powers to do so. And so he falls. But here we go. But a tragic hero. There needs to be a separation, because even in the storyline, even in canon, there is a line drawn that Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader are 2 people. That Darth Vader killed Anakin Skywalker, or almost succeeded in killing Anakin Skywalker. He obviously comes back at the end of Return of the Jedi. But they're talked about in 2 different people almost. I mean, that's why George Lucas felt so compelled on the special edition to go back to the end of Return of the Jedi and make young Anakin Skywalker appear. Have the Hayden Christensen version of Anakin Skywalker appear instead of that old man, because Anakin, and he said that Anakin Skywalker was who that person was before his fall to the dark side, before his failure against Obi-Wan Kenobi, before taking the knee before the Emperor. So that's just my take on it. There are a lot of people making a lot of videos about this right now on the internet, a lot of articles you can read right now about this, and they go much more in depth than I am in this moment, but they're continually focusing on this, that there is some concern that the Star Wars storytelling narrative is changing Darth Vader from a villain, because that's what he is, and they're trying to really push this story of a tragic hero or anti-hero, and I think that's just because they really want to reinforce the storyline of redemption, right? That's the story of Anakin Skywalker in a nutshell, is redemption. This great hero that did fall from grace, who became Darth Vader, killed millions, slaughtered whoever, no idea how many he's killed, but this narrative, I get it, for the kids, but I think it's okay sometimes for someone just to be scared of somebody. And Darth Vader encapsulates just evil. And Darth Vader is a bad dude. But I understand the value in teaching that narrative of redemption. But I don't think that we need to do, for example, in March, we're getting this Vader Dark Visions thing. And they describe Vader as the anti-hero. Okay, well, he's a villain. You can root for him. I think there's a lot of people that root for Vader. There's a whole subreddit about how the Empire did nothing wrong. But I just think that there is an issue and there will be inconsistencies now if all of a sudden the storytelling group or if it's just the writers trying to tell this, oh, well, Vader's not really a villain. He's just an anti-hero. Listen, he kills a lot of people. He wears all black. He has a red lightsaber. The guy's a bad guy. It's all good. Like, you're good or you're bad. We're learning there's gray. We all make mistakes. Like, people in real life, we make mistakes every time. I've made 3 mistakes since I woke up this morning, So I am curious to see where this conversation goes. I would like to know what you think. Do you feel that they are trying to make Vader a anti-hero or a tragic hero fallen from grace rather than just a villain? Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing? I want you to let me know down in the comments below. Wow, that was a rant. A little out of breath, so we'll just go to the next comic. Because Star Wars 61 is pretty fun, and I love this adventure. And I kind of give it away here in the lower third. I wanted Scar Squadron to be done. I really did, because I'm just not into it. Souped up stormtroopers. They've got, one's got a lightsaber. The one wears a hood. It's like Republic Commandos, but like a warped version on it all. And I'm just not feeling it. So luckily, we start out with the rebels coming through and crashing into like this like Imperial holding area with all these ships. That's where Staros' ship is. And so rebels come in. They blast the whole place up. They knock out the tower. There's troopers getting blown up. It's awesome. Lulu, who's the love here of Luke here right at the present time, she is, she's kicking butt. And then they had to go and find out how to reach Hope One or, the rest of the Rebel Alliance. Come across this dude who speaks like this form of Huttese or Huttonese, I don't know. C-3PO comes in and is an interpreter. He gets some new legs. And then... the breakup happens. Oh, this is pretty tough. But then we get in this like really big side tangent about Afra, like because Luke originally had a thing for Afra, and then it turned out Afra is a lesbian, and she was with like Sana for a while, and so there's like a 7 or 8 panel stretch where they just keep going. Well, she's not in a dude, so good thing, and then it felt kind of shoehorned in there. I wasn't really into it, but hey, they get on the ship, they get the Falcon back, they get to they find the rebels. They find Admiral Akbar here in this like space, and then here we are, Scar Squadron, not dead. All the Thanrax did not kill them like I was hoping, and you can see like some of these troopers look really cool, and they're like super commandos, but I'm just not into it. But yeah, Leia has this plan where they're gonna shut down the queen that betrayed them, and left those plans back on Hubin for Scar Squadron to find. So I have a feeling that by the end of the run here, we are going to see Scar Squadron escape Hubin and maybe sabotage the rebels' plans, which would be really frustrating because, one, we've been on Hubin for like several months, and it's not my favorite place. And yet they'll just keep coming. I just want to make it known, Tula in this episode is completely badass. She clearly knows how to use a blaster, and she knows how to lead her people. Feel bad for Thane, though, because Thane died, right? He sacrificed himself in the last issue so that our rebels could get away. Novka, which is the place where they had to go to originally to get their ships back, that place gets wrecked. And I love those action sequences. I could have done without this whole part about like being an interpreter for everybody, but I guess it makes sense. Like C-3PO speaks all these languages, and he gets new legs out of the deal. So I guess that's a good thing. Like I'm happy for him. He deserves something good to happen. But of course, here's the breakup. Tula's like, I can't stay here. I mean, glad we kissed, but we're done here. I got to go do my own thing. Luke's heartbroken, and then here we go in this like phasmic, this like cosmos. I don't know how to describe this. It's pink and it's cloudy, but it's cool that they return. Also, Han has like this freak out about the Millennium Falcon. He doesn't like people playing with it, apparently. Overall, I think it's a good issue. If you've been following what's been going on in the sense that, we've been on Hubin for God knows how long in this comic book, and we know that Gillen's run is coming to an end here, I think with like issue number 67. So things got to get wrapped up. Scar Squadron definitely feels like it's going to have a role in the rest of this, which, I mean, fine, but we know my grudges with it. I would say, though, to give this a chance, and I don't have it pictured here, complete side note, a really cool tribute to Stan Lee in this. It's called Stan's Soapbox, and it's basically just a message where he's just thanking everybody for supporting Marvel Comics, and all the success of Marvel Comics is because of the reader. And I don't know, it was just like a nice way. I like how everyone has been doing tributes to Stan Lee, whether it's Marvel or DC or IDW. Like, everybody's doing something for Stan Lee, and I think that's cool because he's already passed for, more than a month now? And it's really cool that he's still in the memory for a lot of people. But basically where this comic ends now is Leia wants to destroy Shu-Torun, and obviously Queen Trios, who kind of stabbed her in the rebellion back. Remember, like 10 issues ago, Vader just shows up and just wrecks. It was probably the best, 4 or 5 pages of comic book in this whole run so far. But that's where we are. Star Wars number 61. I think it's a good read. I think I undersold it a little bit because there's just some parts where it's just like, all right, we gotta hit this checkpoint before the story can continue. But overall, it is really good, and it is interesting to see that Luke had multiple failures in his life, and that's because the first woman he fell in love with, apparently after leaving Tatooine, was a lesbian archaeologist, which again, Son of Star Wars just spends so much time being like, well, for your sake, it's good that she likes women, and it's good that she doesn't like men, and it just, I don't know, read it for yourself. Like I said, felt shoehorned. Comics out next week, though. Get excited. Age of Republic returns, this time with the villain complement. This is with Dooku. The Dooku single shot, really excited for this. He has left the Jedi Order, and he is now just beginning his mission for his Sith Master. But he comes across an old Padawan. So what is this? Because, who could this be? I'm thinking it's Qui-Gon, but really excited to see what this comic has for us. It comes out, I believe this is the 13th. Yes, Wednesday, the 13th, you're going to get Dooku single shot for Age of Republic. There's still the Padme one that's out there, so really excited to get my hands on that one. And then we're also getting Imperial Cadet number 4. It's a series that's real hit and miss. But with this cover, are you not going to pick it up? I mean, you're going to pick it up for at least the cover, okay? And then I don't know. You'll probably just leave it in your short box. I don't think this is going to be something you reread often. A lot of words with this. I don't know how else to say it. There's just a lot of long-winded writing. There's some people that I see on the internet really are digging it, but I think there's some people out there that really share my frustration with it, where it's like it's okay art and it's okay. It's just so long. And I honestly wish this was actually a book instead of a comic book, because I think it would translate / read better. But that's just what I think. I could be totally wrong. I mean, I get my opinion, right? And you get your opinion, and that's what's so fun about this. So those are the two comic books coming out next week, and I want to see what we have for the week following, if I can figure that out real quick before we go here on Beyond the Panel number 5. It's crazy to think that we've been doing this for 5 weeks already. I've gotten a lot of good feedback on it. Just trying to spread the word about the show. I want more and more people to be part of our conversation again, airing every time on Thursday nights, 6 p.m. What do we have for Star Wars coming up? Star Wars Solo number 5 comes out the week after that. So it's kind of a slow month right now for Star Wars, but we're going to pick up here with Age of Rebellion, several issues. Really excited for the Tarkin issue. Really excited for the Vader issue. Really excited for the Leia issue. Really looking forward to that. And then who knows what we're going to really get when it comes to Age of Resistance. Oh, we're also getting a Vader single shot. I forgot about that. So that is going to do it for Beyond the Panel, issue number 5 on this beautiful Thursday. Again, it is February 7th. And if you haven't already, be sure you hit the thumbs up button and let me know in the comments below what you think of this episode. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and ring the bells when we drop new episodes of Beyond the Panel. Other videos, we go live for a live show every Sunday, 11 a.m. Central. You're the first to find out. I'm going to step away, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you for watching Beyond the Blast Doors. Be sure to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget, give us a thumbs up and leave a comment. Beyond the Blast Doors, a Star Wars conversation.